Now, I want you to imagine you're in London. Okay, have you ever heard this phrase? Mind the gap. Yes? Familiar? Maybe you are familiar with it if you visited London.
Mind the gap.
Maybe not if you haven't. But this is a very common phrase when you stand on some train platforms. Why? Because if a train pulls into the station and there's a gap between the platform and the train, it's dangerous. It's a warning to stop you falling. So what's it got to do with this lesson? Well, this lesson is about minding the gap when you want to speak quickly. The gap is between the words and you want to avoid gaps when you're speaking. So I'm going to give you some examples of what we do when we speak very quickly and how we do it. So come with me. So, first of all, take the sound j. J. Say j instead of do you. It's used nearly all the time by native English speakers. For example, in this offer, instead of saying, do you want a cup of coffee, we often say, do you want a cup of coffee? Or questions like, what do you want for dinner? What do you think? What do you do? Do you have Facebook? Do you mind if I use your pen? It's a lot quicker. Now, so that's a quick look at how we join some words together. Now, let's look at the timing. When catching a train, you need to be on time or you'll miss it. Well, this is the same when we speak English because English is a stress-timed language. Every stressed syllable has a beat and all the unstressed syllables are said quickly and fit in between the stressed ones. So, for the timing, I want you to beat the rhythm with your hand, either on the table or clap your hands together like this. I want one beat for each stressed syllable with exactly the same time between each beat, like this. Got that? Now, between each beat, we fit in all the unstressed syllables and unimportant words. But in all fast connected speech, these little unimportant words and unstressed syllables are weak. We very often use the schwa sound, instead of the vowel sound that you would use when the word is said in isolation or on its own. So, with what do you want for dinner, you should be beating 3 times because there are 3 stresses in this sentence. The stress is only on the important information-giving words. What, want, and di in dinner. Remember, the reason for this is that do, you, and for in this sentence are all unimportant words. So say them using the schwa sound like this. De je, or just j when they're said together, and f instead of for. Oh, and don't forget the n part of dinner is weak too, so it's said like this. N, so dinner. Ready to beat? What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? Now go back to this one. Do you want a cup of coffee? Do you want a cup of coffee? Want, cup and cough are important and stressed. The rest are unimportant and unstressed, so we use the schwa sound for the unstressed vowels. But notice how this phrase takes the same amount of time to say as the other phrase, even though there is one more syllable, because it has the same number of stresses or beats, regardless of the number of words or syllables. Do you want a cup of coffee? Do you want a cup of coffee? What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? Or this one, try this one. What do you do in the evening? What do you do in the evening? Each beat for each stressed syllable has exactly the same time between each beat. You just have to squeeze the unstressed words in between each stressed beat. Now let's speed it up. You ready? Do you want a cup of coffee? Do you want a cup of coffee? What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? Got that? Let's do the next one. What do you do in the evening? What do you do in the evening? Okay, let's move on to the next example. Here I'm going to demonstrate when unstressed words come before stressed words. As you now know, a phrase can be the same amount of time regardless of how many words or syllables there are, because the beat is on the stressed syllables only. So as long as it's got the same number of beats in the sentence, it will be the same amount of time to say. We can show this by counting the number of beats in each phrase. Let's start with this phrase. It has one beat only. The unstressed syllables before the stress are short and quick. Beat the rhythm with your hand. Here goes. I'm here. I'm here. Notice how I'm not saying I'm here, as this would be 2 beats and convey a different message. I'm here with 1 beat announces your arrival somewhere, like this. I'm here. Whereas I'm here is a statement of fact that you could perhaps use to indicate your position in a queue. You know, when someone wants to push in front of you, like this. I'm here. So here are some more examples of 1-beat phrases. She's home. She's at home. But she's at home. Again, 1 beat. They work. They can work. They were at work. Another one, 1 beat. We'll see. We shall see. And we shall see. If you said it like me, then you will have noticed that each stress group gets the same time as the others. The unstressed syllables before the stress were said very quickly, so they were all very short, but the stressed syllable is always 1 beat. This is because English is a stress-timed language. So what's the difference between stressed and unstressed syllables? Well, the stressed ones are in the information-giving words. The verbs, adverbs, the nouns, the adjectives. The rest are usually unstressed, like and, of, the. Personal and object pronouns such as it, them, us, we, you. It depends on what the speaker is trying to convey. This video here explains it quite well, in my opinion. Now go back and try saying them again. Practice makes perfect. Now, what is a stress group? A stressed syllable together with any unstressed syllables form a stress group, or in other words, a chunk of language. So the phrase, both of them, is 1 stress group. The fundamental rule of English rhythm is that each stress group within a sentence is given the same amount of time. Now try this. It will all become clear. It's one stress group. Both of them. Both of them. Now the next one is two stress groups. Both of them left. Both of them left. And the next one here is three stress groups. Both of them left early. Both of them is one stress group, left is another, and early is another. Each stress group is given the same amount of time. Try this. One of us. One of us arrived. One of us arrived early. Now this. All of it. All of it went. All of it went quickly. And how about this one? One of them cooked. One of them cooked dinner. See if you can make up your own sentences using stress groups or chunks of language that you know and try beating out the rhythm. You'll soon realise why getting word stress right is really important for sentence rhythm. Well, that's it for this lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, love and peace.